So this video, I'm going to do a rundown. This will be a series of different skin tones and how I paint them. So we'll go from dark to light. So this one will be a pretty dark skin tone to start. So we're going to start with Rhinox hide for the base. This is a really good, I really like this color for any sort of dark sort of leather or skin or organic thing. It covers over black really nice. So I'm just going to really quickly So now that the darker skin color is, the base coat is dry, we're going to do a wash of Agrex Earthshade. And this may not initially look to do much because the skin is so dark already, but I think it kind of just richens up the shadows a little bit. So you just go ahead and you put this in. Make sure you get it into any crevices like his abs, underneath his neck, his armpits, things like that, where the shadow would be stronger. So now that the Agrex Earthshade wash has dried, we're going to come in and do some highlighting. Now, this look, as is something you could keep. You could keep it this dark. If you do keep it this dark, I would recommend just doing maybe some spot highlights with Rhinox hide, which is the original color, to just give it a little bit of texture. We're going to go a little bit lighter than this, though, because this is very, very, very dark skin. So we're going to do a mix of Rhinox hide and XV88 in about a 1-to-1, depending on how dark you want to keep it. If you want darker, use more of this. If you want lighter, use more of this. So you can see it's a slightly lighter brown color. We're just going to come in and we're going to highlight the raised sort of flat edges on his body. So most of the brown we did is going to be covered over with this. But you want to just leave the shadows and folds the darker color, and just put this on the sort of flat upper edges. So there we go. So it's pretty subtle. With such dark colors, sometimes it can be hard to get that contrast because you've got really dark and then kind of just dark, as opposed to like really light and then a medium or darker color to have more contrast. But essentially that's it for the main layer. Then our final step is we're going to come in, we're going to do a mix of Rhinox hide and Cadian flesh tone, and this is just going to be like our absolute final edge highlight on just very specific points, and this is just going to add a little bit to it so he doesn't look so flat. You get a little bit more of a gradient of a pinker brown to like a dark brown to then almost, you know, a super dark brown. And the ratio I use is about 1-to-1. You can always mix it up and see what you like. The Rhinox is so dark, you might need more of the lighter color to compensate for that. So there, it's just barely a different color. You can kind of mess around with the ratios, find what you like, but... And this is just going to go on the very most extreme things like his hands, the very tops of the biceps, tips of his shoulders. And it can also be helpful to look at reference images, so look at, you know, anybody with the sort of skin tone that you're going for, particularly if they're like an athlete or something like that, where they will be muscular and kind of more similar to the models that you're painting. You know, so like bodybuilders, UFC fighters, football players, basketball players, stuff like that can sometimes help you find color reference for different skin types against really muscular physiques and things like that. So, you know, these guys are like ludicrously muscular. So essentially there you have it. So you should be able to see some definition, you know, the abs, the back, and all that. If there's ever areas you're unhappy with, you can always go back and repaint them, or use the wash to tone it down again, if it got too light or too, you know, whatever. But there we go. There's our dark skin tone.